The final day of the World Cup season is upon us, and the coronation we expected to see in the chase for the Crystal Globe has had a few plot twists this weekend, and both the men's and the women's titles will come down to today's final two races. Defending champion Park Ji-won saw his lead cut to a surmountable 69 points over Canada's Stephen Dubois. A seventh-place finish in the A final of the 15 yesterday for Park. And then a silver for Dubois in the 500. Park will try to keep the number one helmet as he closes in the 1,000 today. And Dubois skating in the second running of the 500. Women's side, Kim Gilly knocked out in the quarters of the 500 yesterday in what she termed a big mistake, while American Kristen Santos Griswold took gold in the 15, picked up some serious ground. And so now it's a 51-point gap that can be overtaken today as they both race head-to-head in the 1,000 for the Crystal Globe Championship. So what a finish we have in store as we welcome you to the final day of World Cup Gdansk. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Patrick Keenis with you to the Hala Olivia Arena in Gdansk, Poland. And here the morning session will run through the repechage of a couple of different events and get you through the B finals of both relays and set you up for the afternoon session in a big, important, and surprisingly drama-filled final day of World Cup Gdansk. And here's a look at the schedule we have for you this morning. We'll begin with the repechage quarters of both the women's and the men's 1,000, then the rep quarters of the 500 for the women and men. We'll get through the repechage semifinals, and we'll close this morning's session with the B finals of the women's relay and the men's relay. So a fairly quick session this morning, and there you have a look at what the afternoon will bring. The quarterfinals of the 1,000 meter for the women. That'll be Kim Gilly and Santos Griswold head-to-head as they head toward the Crystal Globe. And then we will see Stephen Dubois in the 500. We'll see Park Ji-won in the 1,000, and the culmination in the A finals of each of those events. And the last two events, of course, the women's and men's A final in the relays. So that's the schedule for today here in Gdansk. And the crowd will begin to file in through this morning session and, most importantly, to the afternoon. And then this will close out the World Cup circuit, the sixth and final event over the course of the year. A couple of weekends back-to-back in Montreal, the Asia swing through Beijing and Seoul, and then in Europe over the last couple of weekends in Dresden and here in Gdansk. Our chief referee, Alessandra Mori, Polona Punic, Veronica Dennis are the assistant referees on the ice. Hugo Herdoff, the ISU event director, and Kim So-hee, our representative who we're working with very closely over the course of this weekend. And the video referees up in the booth, Alexander Valich, Jura Kriegscheld, Antel Novak, and Jean Latamagne are the starters for today's events. Well, you can't ask for anything more. Everything coming down to one day after all the training through the course of the summer, the dry land, the weights, getting on the ice, your national championships, and then the World Cup season again, all coming down to one final day for the Crystal Globe. So will it be the teen Kim Gilly, who has been a dominant force over the course of this year, or will it be arguably the best short track skater in the world on the women's side, Kristen Santos Griswold? Can she overcome the deficit today? And then on the men's side, Park Ji-won looking to repeat. And Stephen Dubois has done just about everything over the course of the year. He has a shot to steal the number one helmet away later today. So let's jump into the women's 1,000-meter repechage quarterfinals. We have 21 skaters scheduled to go across four heats. And there is the start list for heat number one. Phoebe Steins, the 30-year-old veteran who already has an Olympic medal on her dresser drawer by virtue of the 2014 Sochi Olympic Games, playing hockey. And here we go. Race number one, final day.
Ready.
So 5 skaters will open this one up. And this will get our day underway. Wojciech Samody, Luia Bobier from Poland, Svetlana Repechage from Ukraine, Liu Wanyu from China, And Phoebe Steins representing Switzerland. So those are the 5 in this opening repechage quarterfinal. Again, we'll see it 4 heats and now a total of 20 official skaters as we get the updated start list for the repechage quarters here for the women. Liu right now on top, Simodi second. They will take out of these 4 heats first and second, and then a maximum of 2 heading on to the repechage quarterfinals. Maximum of 2 third-place finishers. And Repechage right now in that 3rd position for Ukraine. So Liu on you, still in front. Skater goes down, and that is Bobier. So Steins now in 4th position for Switzerland. And it's Liu and Simodi as they close within the final couple of laps of this opening repechage quarter. A 9-lap race. Liu and Simodi both in qualifying position here. There's the bell. See how eager Simodi is to make any kind of move here. She's in qualifying position for the rep semis. And not a lot happening here. They both kind of draft to the finish. And it's Liu and Simodi officially into the rep semis. And we've kind of opined over the course of the year, how often skaters can come through the repechage and really make an impact when they get back to the main draw. And sometimes you're going against 35 other skaters for maybe 2 spots back in either the semis or the quarters, depending on the length of the race. And we saw it firsthand yesterday with Zhang Sun-Wu. Earned silver in the 1,500 meter yesterday behind Pascal Dayon. That was the same race where Park Ji-won was in the lead with a handful of laps to go and then suddenly fell to last and lost some serious ground on his lead over Dubois. But Zhang Sun-Wu, who won silver in that race, came through the repechage that morning, yesterday morning. So how often does it happen where you come through the repechage and get to an A final and get on the podium and perhaps win? Well, we saw Zhang Sun-Wu yesterday do that exact thing and wind up with the silver in the 1,500. So it can be done. So waiting on the official results of heat number 1. There it is. Liu and Simodi are into the semifinals of the repechage. Repechage right now sitting 3rd. We'll follow that 136.906. Again, of these heats, 2 of the 4 third-place finishers would go if there are no advancements by penalty. And now we get to the 2nd repechage quarterfinal. 5 skaters. Chloe Olivier, 20-year-old from France. There she is in helmet 45. Rebecca Silese-Nemet out of Hungary took bronze at the Euros in the 1,500. She's in helmet 47. And right now she sets the early pace. Elisa Confortola from Italy. She is in this one as well. Confortola claimed the Euro 1,500 meter gold in that same race with Silese-Nemet. So they both are in the same race here. And a couple of skaters out. 4 of the 5 get tangled up. 2 initially went down. Whistle has been blown for a restart. And there is Hedvig Hilde suffering a bit. Let's see what happened coming down the back straight. Hilde in the 111. And try to make a move, maybe to get it inside. Astra Skites, 116. Confortola got tangled up, and then Olivier at the back of the pack tried to get around wide and couldn't do it. So there's plenty of contact there at the back of the race. Confortola out ahead of it, still had a hand on her back by Hilde. There's that move cutting hard in by Confortola ahead of Hilde and the others that might have precipitated the action. And then Olivier dodged the blades, good for her. And now they will all be checked back out. This is under review. So it could have a penalty here and maybe an elimination. Silasay Demet right there. Have her blade checked out. She was the one skater who was not involved with any kind of physical incident right there. So most of the skaters now kind of drifting toward the start line again. Hilde is actually going off of the ice. You can see her shaking up a little bit on the left side of your screen with the pads open. She was the last one to try and get up after the contact. And now they call them back to the line. You can see Hilde on the left side. I mean, she is not going to race, and she is hunched over and gently sitting down. And her delegation, her coaches and trainers will have a look. So that will reduce us now to 4 skaters here in the second rep quarterfinal. And let's hope that Hedvig Hilde is going to be all right. Did walk off the ice under her own power. So the restart now of the second repechage quarterfinal on women's side. Olivier in helmet 45. Astro skates out of Lithuania in the yellow, green, and red right there at the fronts in helmet 116. Silasay Demet in third position, then Confortola. So a cleaner beginning, and off we go. 9-lap race. Now it's Olivier and Silasay Demet. Confortola sneaks up in a third. Top 2 automatically will move to the rep semis. And it's a 3-skater race right now. There goes Confortola around Silasay Demet. And she has the lead with 3 laps to go. Olivier and Silasay Demet in a duel for second. A bell lap in this rep quarterfinal. Olivier in third position, tries to get around Silasay Demet in that final corner, does, and will hold on. And so Chloe Olivier, the 20-year-old from France, gets that second slot. No reviews forthcoming out of this one, so Confortola and Olivier likely to move on to the semis. So that would eliminate certainly Astro Skites, and we'll see about Silasay Demet in her third place time. And here is the initial pass by Confortola, which sprung her to the win. And then we'll watch Olivier right here. Back straight, final lap. Gets the speed to get around Silasay Demet and a clean pass. And pull away, finishing second. 1:35.652 for Silasay Demet. That is the fastest third so far of the first 2. And now 2 more heats remain in the rep quarters. Five skaters in this heat. Sokolowska from Poland will be in the second position to open things up. And there is a look at Sokolowska. Lady Van Orshat, Katarina Buric, Seliakova, and Rina Yamana are the other 4 in this race. And going out quickly is Sokolowska. Opens up a nice gap. Yamana right now sitting second, and Van Orshat. European Championships held in this venue about a month ago, and when we got to the final couple of days of that sequence on Saturday, Sunday, big crowds. We expect nothing but the same later today for the final main session. And what a treat the fans are going to get with Gilly and Santos Griswold on one side, Park and Dubois on the other side, where they're 2 voyages toward the A finals of their respective races will determine the Crystal Globe champion today. Sokolowska still in front. Yamana, Buric, and then Seliakova. They're right in line. 3 laps remain. Still Sokolowska. And now a wide move from the back from Van Oerschadt. And she'll burst out to the lead with coming up on the bell lap. So it is Van Oerschadt with a healthy lead. Yamana right now is second. Sokolowska fading a bit into third. And the final corner navigated by Van Oerschadt. And Yamana across the line for second. Sokolowska does hold on for third. And we'll check on her time. That 135.46. She likely will be in qualifying position if the third place finisher in the last heat goes just a touch slower than that. So for the moment, Sokolowska is in line to move on to the rep semis. They clearly hit the wall over the last couple of laps. Went out hard to the front. This is the move from Van Oerschadt in the 87. I don't know if she thought it was going to be that easy to go from the back to the front around that group, but she did, and it pays off. And the results are in. 135.446 for Sokolowska, the official time. And that is going to knock Repechage out of any kind of opportunity to advance. And they're taking a maximum of 2 third-place finishers. One more heat to go here in the rep quarters. Sofia Konya, along with Yermak, Lee, Zanbusanova, and Mikhalchuk of Ukraine.
Go to the start. Ready.
So right now on the third place bubble is Silasay Nemets, 135.652. Sokolowska just a touch faster than that in that last rep quarter. Zanbusanova and Yermak, the two from Kazakhstan, out 1-2. Li Juan of China bumped off a bit by the Hungarian Konya right there, so Lee in a fourth. Might take a look at that little connection between those two. Yermak and Zanbusanova still 1-2. Sofia Konya looking for a move on the inside. She's going to take it nicely. And it's Konya in front. Two from Kazakhstan still second and third, Yermak and Zanbusanova. And now Zanbusanova, though, spins out. Lee is now up in a third. And there is the bell. Final lap. Konya and Yermak. And Lee trying to close on Yermak into the final corner. Second place is good for the semis, but Lee will finish third. 134.78. That would be good enough for Lee to move in. And that would knock Silasay Nemets out. There is one video review box that is yellow, and they'll have a look to see what the official results will be here in this last quarterfinal. There was the contact between Lee and Konya. And there at the third spot. That's where you see the spin out by Zambusanova. And the results are in, and Lee earns the penalty. Konya and Yermak finish 1-2. And Mikhalchuk with that 136.7, not fast enough. So we'll take a look at what the officials saw right here. The out to in lane change charged against Lee that evidently led to the spin out right there, Zambusanova. So Lee will not move through. That'll bring the end to the repechage quarters for the women. And now we'll jump to the rep quarters for the men. 7 heats on the docket. We have 6 skaters in this opening one. And Paweł Adamski of Poland will be in this opening field.
Go to the start. Ready?
6 heats now. There were 7 originally, but a scratch or two has shifted up the brackets here in the rep quarter, so it's 6 heats now instead of 7. And the first place skater from each race, and then a maximum of 4 third place finishers. Those will be the qualifiers for the repechage semifinals a little bit later on this morning. Shamakhanov from Kazakhstan right now in front. Bram Steenhart, number 73 for the Netherlands. Orban Dam and Enzo Proust, both of Belgium. And Yang Changrui of Hong Kong, along with Adamski, who right now sits in second position. Those are the skaters here in this first of 6 heats. Shamakhanov right now setting the pace. Steenhart slithers his way past Adamski into second position. Two and a half laps left still. Shamakhanov and Steenhart 1-2. And Adamski right now third. So we'll watch the battle for second position. That's going to be the key slot in all these heats. Steenhart in second. Adamski, the native of Poland, trying to make a move, slipped a bit out of that corner. And Steenhart will draft off of Shamakhanov, and that will carry him to the line second. So Shamakhanov, the AQ to the rep semifinals by winning this race, and Steenhart puts himself in position perhaps to move through as well by time. Adamski third. Shamakhanov, 24-year-old Olympian from Kazakhstan in Pyeongchang 6 years ago. Took the early pace and command of the race and never gave up the lead. Was able to save his legs over the course of that race by just controlling the pace, and had enough in the tank to fend off Steenhart and others down the stretch. And there's the head-on finish for Yerkebulan Shamakhanov. And the results official. Shamakhanov into the rep semis. And we'll follow Steenhart's time over the course of the next 5 to 10 minutes. See if he qualifies for another race here this morning. Start list for the second rep quarter. Kayla Park of the United States, Peter Yazapati, Girov, Koleko, Varklis, and Pascal Dion. Gold medalist yesterday in the 1500. Finds himself in the repechage of the 1000. You get to the bottom of your screen for Canada. But again, it's a 9-lap race, so not imperative to get all that quickly off of the line from those outside positions. You certainly don't want to be in the back for all that long, but brimming with confidence, you have to believe, for expecting to see Dion. And Dion not on the ice. So a couple of scratches now in the men's 1,000-meter repechage from what we had about an hour ago, and even heck, the official start list just a moment ago, Dion was expected to race. He's not out there, so a DNS for Pascal Leon. Yazapati right now in front. Girov second, Caleb Park for the U.S. third, then a break to Varaklis, and then Koleko. Only the winner will move on officially. It's right now Peter Yazapati. And a little slip, and down goes Girov. So now it's Yazapati and Park well ahead of the field. It's a battle for the winner. And Park will finish second to Yazapati. A 131 low for Park. Girov was right in the middle of that front group and just seemed to lose his focus, lose his footing. Down he went, and that opened things up for Park to finish second. Well, the 131-1 for Park. About a second and a half behind Steenhardt, second place finish in the previous heat. So no word on Pascal Leon, who again, just moments before the race was on that start list. Well, maybe just calling it a weekend, at least individually for Dion after his exploits yesterday, winning the 1500. There's the fall by Girov in 98. He's coming around that corner. Yeah, just right there, just a slip. Fortunately for Park, he was out wide of Girov, wide enough to avoid the unexpected. So Yazapati Park, 1-2 finish. And now Caleb will have to sit back and hope that 131 is going to be fast enough. So there you see the DNS for Pascal Leon, not showing up at the line for his race. So now we'll send 6 skaters to the line. They all are on the ice for the third rep quarter. Keita Watanabe, Ole Handai. And inside position to Mohamed Bozdag of Turkey. Bozdag, just 16 years of age, unable to get to the first corner in front. So the 2 skaters from Ukraine will get there instead. Handai and Rostislav Leontenko. Stefan Alexander Germagiev right now in third position. So a couple laps in. Handai and Leontenko. And there goes Kamergiev moving up into second position. Sejpaul right now in the 105, up into third. And finds a little seam on the inside to move now to second. Kamergiev wants second place back, a little bump there, and that'll not Sejpaul all the way back to the end of the field. That will be reviewed. And Ole Handai still in front. Kamergiev second. Now Watanabe slings a little bit wider, now cuts in and makes the pass inside Kamergiev. 2 laps to go. Still Handai. And Watanabe speeds past him on the inside, takes the lead. And the bell for Watanabe, the leader. Quick look to see where Handai is, and no trouble down the stretch for Watanabe. He will take this one down. Handai unofficially finishing second, but again, we'll have a review for a little bit of contact earlier in the race. That moves Sejpaul from second place all the way to the back. And I believe it was Kamergiev. And there is Sechball in the 105, Kamergiev in the 99. And that's going to be the examination right there. The lateral moves by each of these two skaters right here. And Kamergiev maybe a little bit late to get in at the end of the straight. And that is what shifted Sechball wide, and he would never really recover. And we'll see what the decision is going to be here. And the penalty is assigned to Kamergiev of Bulgaria. That will advance Sechball automatically to the Repechage semifinals. So Watanabe in. Honde's time is still going to be something to watch over the next 5 minutes or so. 128 should get him in. And here's a look at what they saw right at the end of the straight. Skater on the inside. Kamergiev not giving away to Sechball in the 105. Right in here. And that's the penalty on Kamergiev. Six skaters now for the fourth of six heats in the Rep quarterfinals. Marcus Howard inside position for the U.S. Li Jinyu of China. Brandon Pauk, Ivan Martinic of Croatia. Metehan Atan and Peter Murphy of Luxembourg.
Go to the start. Ready.
Soft little nudge right there in the third position by Brandon Pauk, moving Martinic a bit further up the line before the start. Now, Pauk is a tall, wiry skater, so perhaps he needs a little more with that wingspan. He's right now toward the back in helmet 162. So with that advancement of Sechball via the Kamergiev penalty, that now means that a maximum of 3 second-place finishers will move on. And right now, those be Steenhart, Caleb Park, and Honda. Li Jinyu of China right now at the top. Atan second, and there goes Marcus Howard. A bump there between Howard and Atan, and they both stay on their skates but fall all the way to the back. And that will be examined as well at the end of the race. Lee still on top, Martinic second. And now Peter Murphy up into that 2-hole. And for Marcus Howard, that little bit of contact earlier in the race has really pushed him back, and there's not much of an effort or an ability to recover that kind of ground. There's the bell. Final lap. Lee still in front, Murphy second. Atan has gotten back into the mix. He's in third. But the last corner handled by Lee, and he will finish first. Murphy up for second. And now we'll take a look. Now the question is going to become with Atan and Howard earlier in that race. Are they looking at Howard as the instigator here or Atan? It's all going to come down to the video replay booth and the official on the ice. And it's going to be right here on the lane change. Is that Howard in position, and the lane change issue by the 76 could get an advancement here potentially of Marcus Howard for the U.S. So Atan, perhaps the guilty part there. We'll see. Waiting on the official results, but no doubt that impacted the entire race the rest of the way for Marcus Howard. Atan did well to kind of pull himself back up and get somewhat up with the main crew. The results are in, and Atan will get the penalty here, and that will advance Marcus Howard. So Li Jinyu wins the fourth heat. Peter Murphy now will not have the opportunity to advance because that 129.6 is not going to be fast enough, because now only 2 maximum of fastest second place finishers will advance, with the penalty advancement of Howard. And here's what they saw was the lane change out to end by Atan right there that forced a contact against Marcus Howard. So Howard of the U.S. is into the rep semis. And now we'll jump to heat number 5. 2 from Austria, Tobias Wolf, Dominik Andermann, Adam Szigeti from Hungary will have the first position here. There's Andermann, the 27-year-old.
Go to the start. Ready.
So 2 more heats to go on the men's side of the repechage quarters. Again, the rep semis will come up in fairly short order. Not a lot of heats in the repechage 500 that will follow this. So they're probably back on the ice within 30 to 45 minutes. Theo Collins of Great Britain moves to the front ahead of Szigeti. Lysons of Latvia right now third, then the 2 Austrians, Wolf and Andermann. Still Collins in front, 4 laps to go. And seeing 2 advancements due to penalty, likely going to see a big push to the front here, because a second place finish unlikely to move through. A little bit of contact as Lysons now moves to the back of the field. Collins still in front, and Tobias Wolf in the 92 is second, and he's going for the lead right here. And he'll take it before the corner. And the bell for Tobias Wolf, he's in front. Collins now second. Andermann third, and 1 more corner for Tobias Wolf, and he handles it. And the move by Wolf with about a lap and a half to go to get inside Collins will likely carry him to the rep semifinals. Nice move, had good speed, the proper decision. And Tobias Wolf looks to move through. Now they will review 1 pocket of this race involving 3 skaters, as we're getting our information coming from our referee liaison. Involving Austria, Latvia, and Hungary. Fairly early in the race, Theo Collins set the early pace, but right in here, this little mix-up, Wolf just out ahead of it. And the 190 of Lysons right there, along with Szigeti in 189. And Tobias Wolf did well to kind of steer away from that and stay in. And here's the pass late in the race with about a lap and a half to go. And clean territory on the inside to the left of Theo Collins. And that would bring Tobias Wolf to the rep quarter heat win. And awaiting the results. And 1 more repechage quarterfinal heat to go. The skaters are on the ice. Taking an extra moment, but because the official results are not yet in. Almost in. And now they will be displayed up on the board. We'll see if there's any penalty assigned. And if there's another advancement due to penalty, that would eliminate another second place position. And there is. So Szigeti, who was in qualifying position at the time of that little infraction, Lysons earns the penalty from Latvia. So Szigeti will now move through along with Tobias Wolf from that heat, which now means we will have a maximum of only 1 second place finisher. And not giving space right there, the 190, and Szigeti in the 189 is sent through. And now to the last heat. Niall Tracy of Great Britain, Joshua Ka, Shogo Miyata, Furkan Akar. Miyata inside position, knows he needs to take care of business on his own because a second place finish might get a skater through. Right now there's only one spot available. Oh, I love his name on the blades and on the boot.
Ready.
So off we go. Joshua Ka from New Zealand in helmet 87. Thibaut Mitchell from Switzerland. Monk Erdine Erdenbilig from Mongolia. And then it's Tracy Dakar. Those are the 6 in this final repechage quarterfinal race. The one skater really on edge right now is Hyundai of Ukraine from the second heat, because he is the one and only second place finisher who would advance if there's no penalty advancement out of this race if his 128.9 holds. We've seen advancements of Sejbal, Howard, and Zigeti each in the last 3 races. Tracy up front, Akar second, then Miyata. There's Miyata in the 21. Joshua Cobb moves back a bit. Still Niall Tracy. Took silver at the thousands at the Euros on this ice about a month ago. So good history on the track. Gives a little bit of room to the inside, and Akar takes it. And there's the bell lap. Akar bursting to the lead. Miyata now is second. Tracy third. They're battling for the win in this race. Oh, and it's close. That's close. Miyata and Akar in a photo for the win. And Akar winds up on his back as he made that huge last move in the stretch. Did he hold off Miyata? Well, the move was terrific by Akar to grab the lead. And then suddenly out of that last corner, Akar saw Miyata to his right just flying to the finish. And all will come down to the stretch. Excellent effort by Miyata. So this is from the early stage of the race. We also will check the time. Here's the pass by Akar with about a lap to go. Watch 21, though, with Miyata coming out of this last corner. Looks like it's Akar's race to win. And then Miyata on this last corner puts himself in position to stretch for home with that inside effort. Right around this corner. And here comes Miyata in the 21. Goes outside, and yeah, it looks like Akar got there. And he does, and the time of Miyata at 1:32, that's not going to be fast enough to bump Hyundai, so it was all or nothing right there, and it's Furkan Akar who will grab the automatic qualifying spot out of this last heat, and Shogo Miyata's effort in the 1,000 is done. It's by about 1/100th of a second. So that will wrap up the repechage quarterfinals for both the women and the men. And we should get a graphic here of the list moving on to the rep semis as the Zamboni comes out onto the ice very slowly. They will resurface the ice. And we'll come back with the repechage of the 500 for the women and the men and the rep semis of the 1,000. All that on the way. We're back in about 15 minutes time as we continue on the final day of ISU World Cup Gdansk. Thanks for joining us. Stick with us. And the lights are back up inside the Hala Olivia Arena in Gdansk. Time out for the Repechage quarterfinals of the women's and the men's 500 meters, second running of this race this weekend. So the markers are down, skaters are on the ice, and we will have 13 skaters across 3 heats. They'll take first and second from each of these heats, and then a maximum of 2 fastest thirds on to the rep semis here the next half hour or so. We'll see Aria Levesque, Aliona Volkovskaya, Juliana Dubrova, and Annabelle Green here in this opening heats. So there is Levesque inside the top 50 for the Crystal Globe. Volkovskaya. A great look at the sheen of retailored ice resurfaced over the last few minutes. And off we go with the first of 3 heats. Just 4.5 laps. And Levesque and Annabelle Green right now 1-2. Dubrova of Ukraine third, and Volkovskaya at the back. So the chase of Levesque. And Green just hanging around in second position. And coming up on the bell lap for Levesque. Green still second, then Dubrova. Back straight, Dubrova still third. And Levesque cuts the corner and will come across the line first. Annabelle Green second. Incident-free race. So we'll follow Green's time the rest of the way over these next couple of heats and see if she might sneak into the rep semis. 45.360 for Annabelle Green. And Green got into that second position right off the start. Almost got to the lead from the outside position. But she would not relinquish second. That's how key the start is in this 4.5 lap 500-meter race. You don't have a whole lot of opportunities. I mean, we didn't see really anything from Dubrova. Nothing from the back from Volkovskaya. Just imperative to get to the front as fast as you can off of that start, especially if you're in position, 3, 4, 5 across the line. So Dubrova finishes third, 45.499. So Levesque and Green into the rep semis. And out of the middle of the 3 heats, Gdansk, along with Kurakawa, Simoji, Wilhoit of the U.S., and Batolga from Mongolia. Those are the 5. And first and second automatically move to the rep semis. So Kurakawa inside position for Japan in this one.
Position 4. Go to the start. Ready.
So off we go. And we will see 4 skaters take the ice, expected to see 5. Kurakawa, Simoji, Wilhoit, and Batulga. And Taneke Dendalk is a no-show for Belgium. There's Kurakawa, 2 different color boots as she comes around the corner. Simoji second, then Wilhoit of the U.S. in third. The bell for Kurakawa. Top 2 advance. Simoji trailing Kurakawa. Stays tight and will finish second. Wilhoit third, 45.88. And that is a little bit slower than Dubrova's third place time from the opening heat. But again, with no advancements via the penalty, 2 of the 3 third-place finishers will get a spot in the rep semis. So all's not lost yet for Wilhoit. We'll see how this final heat plays out. Little tiny stumble halfway through that last corner for Kurakawa, but she hangs on. See 1 light blue boot and 1 pink boot right there. Kurakawa takes it to the finish line, just ahead of Samogi. And the results are in. 45.856 the time for Wilhoit. Dubrova was 45.499. So one last heat in the rep quarters for the women in the 500. See a couple of teenagers on the outside. Esther Toth of Hungary and Adamenko of Ukraine, both 19. Holly Hoyland representing Team GBR will have inside position. Enrika Kanai of Japan.
Go to the start. Ready.
Quick start by Kanai, and she'll easily beat Hoyland in the corner. And a strong start by Toth as well from Hungary. And she's up in a second position as they straighten up down the back straight. Adamenko fourth, Hoyland to the outside in third. Pushed out a little bit further and now shuffled to last. Still Kanai and Toth. The bell lap for Kanai in the lead. Top two advance to the rep semis. A little bit of off balance is Toth, but she stays on her blades, comes around the corner, and she will finish second. Kanai and Toth, Adamenko's time 45.88. And that time, we'll see how it's adjusted. Wilhoit was 45.856, and now it is 45.870, so that should send Wilhoit in by the slimmest of margins. Kanai and Toth, a 1-2 finish. And Kanai and Toth got off the start line quickly. Neither had inside position. Hoyland did. And that just kind of underscores the importance of getting out front, stealing some positions going into that first corner. That's what each of those two skaters did, and they did not surrender their spots the entire race. So we'll see Kanai a little bit later on this morning. Fight for a spot back in the quarterfinals. There are the results in the 45.87 for Adamenko is not going to be fast enough. So Wilhoit and Dubrova will be the two third-place finishers advancing. And now to the men's side of the 500 repechage quarters. And we'll see 6 heats. Only the winner guaranteed a spot to advance, and a maximum of 4 second-place finishers will get through. And how about this in this opening rep quarter? All 3 representatives from Ukraine are in this one. Bergen, Morozov, and Fedorenko. There's a look at Daniil Bergen.
To the start.
Side by side by side in the blue and yellow of Ukraine.
Ready.
But best case, only 2 of the 3 will advance, and we get a slip out of the first corner by Bergen, who was actually blown off the line by everybody, in particular Kim Se-sung of Korea. I mean, he had gone from the outside spot on the start to a relatively easy lead going into that first corner. Watch how fast he is off the line. I mean, he had the corner won after about 3 steps. But then Bergen might have just clipped a blade with his teammate Morozov, and he goes down. We'll see if the blade of 137 caught the right blade of Bergen right there. Yep. So Bergen goes down. That's unfortunate for Kim. And that's a perfect start in a race like this. Absolute perfect start. But all for naught. So we'll do it again. Bergen looking for a faster start. So are his teammates. And we'll see if Kim Tae-sung can do it again. And if the Ukrainian skaters weren't exactly sure how fast Kim was going to get off the line, they're aware of it now. Let's see if that leads to any extra sense of urgency and drive off of the start line by any or all three of them. Still examining the boots of Morozov. The science of perfecting the blades. So there's the whistle. Morozov back on the ice. And all four will return to the line. Kim, a world junior champion at the 500 meter 5 years ago.
Go to the start.
So we'll see how the start looks this time for Kim. Can he outrace the three Ukrainians again in the first corner? And the answer this time is almost. He does make up a couple of spots, and now he will fly to the lead ahead of Morozov. So the three Ukrainians on the chase of Kim Tae-sung. Well, he's putting on a showcase, and two Ukrainians go down right there on that corner. It's only Morozov now on his skates. So it's a 1v1 battle, but a huge advantage for Kim Tae-sung. Class of the field in this repechage quarterfinal. And Kim will cruise to the finish. And Morozov, 44 low, finishing second. They will take a look at Federico and Bergen from earlier in that race. The two Ukrainians wiped out. And again, only the first place skater will advance. And a max of four. The Fedorenko and Bergen are still out there finishing the race, both on their blades. And with Fedorenko third and Bergen fourth as they do cross the line. So let's go back to about midway through that race. Here's the start again by Kim. Got around two of the three and then used the front straight to get past the other. And then right here in that battle for the second position, Fedorenko in the 80 helmets, front part of your screen. Bergen in the 169, clearly ahead of Fedorenko right there, and they both go down. Fedorenko even hanging on to the yellow of the jersey of his teammate Bergen as they go simultaneously hard into the pads back first. The contact from behind by Fedorenko, and it's likely going to lead to Bergen moving on. Still nothing official. And there is Bergen. Physical set of races for Bergen right there. He went down a couple of times. Once in the original start, clipped a blade, then went down in the restart with a teammate again. So nothing yet official, but they're having a look. And that's the glance of Bergen, a guy who's hoping he's going to be advanced via penalty, and he will. So there are the results. Fedorenko earns the penalty. Bergen is moved on to the rep semis. And Morozov's 44-1 on the clock for a potential advancement. And here's a look. And the contact coming up. Fedorenko in the 80. Clearly behind Bergen right there. And there's the contact. That spills Bergen. And ends Fedorenko's day. Second of 6 heats in the 500 rep quarters for the men. Lee Kuhn, Helmut Casanelli, Bastier, Rio, and Radek Fajkas. There's Lee Kuhn. Success in the World Junior Circuit as well. We told you about Kim winning gold in the 500 in 2019. Kuhn won bronze in the 500 this last year. He's only 19 years old. Casanelli right next to him is 30.
Go to the
A
start.
couple of Olympic medals for Casanelli 2 years ago in Beijing.
Ready.
That's what Lee Kuhn and the others are hoping for as their careers just begin to emerge. So Lee comes around the corner with the lead. A little adjustment of the glasses. Casanelli second, Foskes third. We'll see how the front end speed of Lee looks to Casanelli. Tightening things up. Foskes with the lead group. And now Casanelli makes his move to the inside and will beat him there. Here's the bell for Casanelli. Lee second. Foskes now makes a move past Lee. They connect a bit. Lee gets back in front of him, and it's Casanelli who will get it done. And a review will be taking place on a couple little bits of contact involving Lee and Foskes. With a couple laps to go. And they'll have a look at probably Foskes right there. Trying to overtake Lee Kuhn. We'll have a look at the start of the race. Casanelli not terribly quick off the line. That looked to be almost by design. Letting Lee get in the corner as long as Casanelli could trail him second. Casanelli found the territory right here on the front straight to make the pass. And then the battle is for second between Lee and Foskes right there. Lee in 55, Foskes in 61. Here's the first bit of contact between those two. Curious to see if they make any kind of call based on that. Didn't seem to be a whole lot there. Foskes trying to get past the inside of Lee. I see a little grimace on the face of Lee coming out of it. And the results are in. And no penalty. So Lee at 42, 7:53, finishing second. Casanelli is moving on to the rep semis. So 4 more races to go, and we'll have our rep semifinal contenders. 5 across this heat. Sidzak de Laat, 2-time Olympian from the Netherlands. Lucas McDonald of New Zealand. And there is Tarek Omeragic from Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Ready.
And the coaches eyeing this one. Out of the start, little stumble by Omeragic, but he hangs on to his balance. He's in second position as McDonald sets the early pace. It's Akdalat in third, and it's Atasi and Zhang, and we got a big wipeout at the back of the pack right there that takes down a couple of skaters, including Delat and Tatasi. So 3 on the lead lap. It's McDonald and Omeragic, and the bell for McDonald. Zhang third, makes a move on the inside. He'll get past Omeragic. McDonald around the last corner, very close for second. McDonald wins it. And Zhang appeared to get up for second. Couple of reviews out of this one. Strong race by Lucas McDonald right there. 22-year-old from now representing New Zealand. Originally from Canada. McDonald in the 130. Now, Delat hoping to be a factor in this race, but a couple laps into it, Delat and Taktasi got involved right there wide. Tatasi to Delat's right. They both go down. So they will take a look at that. And here's the scrum for the finish line there. Look at the look on the faces of each of those two athletes on the right. And it did look like the blade of Lee got there first. So a couple of reviews they're taking a look at. One involving Itzhak Delat. Taktasi. We'll take a look again at the Taktasi Delat incident, we hope, and see exactly what happened, because Taktasi was coming down the home straight very, very wide. He's in the red helmet, second from the left. So he's very wide out toward the pads. Delat is just inside of him. And it looks like Taktasi hit the pad right there. And then made some contact on the way down off the pads with Delat. And then the other yellow box is for Lee and Omeragic at the end, both kind of fighting and jostling over the final couple of meters to the line. And let's see if anything is called resulting from those two, and they won't. So no penalties. John finishing second, 42.974 his time. McDonald wins the heat, and he moves on. And that was really interesting to see Taktasi actually straight all the way toward the pads and then made contact bouncing off the pads back into Delat. Good camera work there. And now heat number 4, 5 skaters. Jonathan Moody, 25-year-old Brits, inside position in the 109. Lucas Wareham, Quinton Faircock, Miodrag Popovic, and Maxim Maximov from Bulgaria. Those are the 5. Faircock has been one of the top 500-meter skaters across this World Cup season. He's in a second position. He's ranked number 4 in the classification coming into this weekend. And you see why right there. Solid move by Faircock. He's into the lead past Moody. There's easy gas from Faircock there on that last lap and a half. And the bell rings for Faircock, the leader. Moody second, Wareham third. So there's enough gap between Moody and Wareham, and Jonathan Moody will finish second. Excellent race by Faircock. So he will punch his ticket to the rep semifinals. 2 more heats to go. Faircock, quick start in the 30. Got up in a second position and began to hunting down Moody. And then you just see kind of the experience, the speed, the perfect timing, the trust right there from Faircock. Didn't have a lot of time to make that decision, but did, and just powered his way through. And that was the race. So 2 more heats to go on the men's side. The time for Moody right now would be good enough to move on to the rep semis, 42.992. And again, they'll take a maximum of 4, but we've had 1 advancement due to penalty, Bergen, in the opening heat. So now they'll take a maximum of 3 second place finishers. There's the start list. A couple of Americans here in Heat 5. Wesley Park, Jonathan So, Colin Sternmanis, and Lepep round out the field. There's Sebastian, 3-time Olympian from France. Sebastian Lepep right now out front. And the 2 Americans will follow. Expected to have 5 starters. Maximov did not appear. And the bell, it's Lepep and Park. Looked like that was Park's opportunity. And didn't have the right footwork and momentum. And Lepep is going to take this one down. Park will finish second, 42-1. And that time for Park will be plenty good to move on to the rep semis. Looked like he wanted more, though. He was kind of lining up Lepep for that inside pass with about a lap to go, and just didn't seem to have the right opportunity to do it or the footwork. So LePep is through, and the time by Park will get him in as well. Because he is, with that time, the fastest second place finishers of the ones who are qualifying so far. So I think right there, that was the moment that Park was eyeing. And just didn't quite have the right balance. But the time will be good enough for Wesley Park. Finishing second, his official time about to come up on the board, 42. Let's see what it is, 167 for Wesley Park. Jonathan So finishing third. Kolinch, DNS, did not start. And one more heat to go at the men's repechage quarters. And there are the five: Aroglu, Deguiter, Honorman, Donchev, Yokoyama. They're taking a maximum now of 3 second-place skaters. And right now on the bubble, the Zhang Jinzi of China, 42.974.
Go to the start. Ready.
Aroglu on the inside will get a restart. A little spin out there by Nico Honorman. Honorman checking the back of his right blade. He'll head over to the pads. Honorman middle position right there in the 60. Didn't really see anything involving any other skater just on the exit of the start line. Yeah, head-on look. Ah, there was with Yokoyama's left blade. Helpful to have several camera angles. One may not show it, the other one clearly did. So we'll get a restart in this last heat of the repechage quarters. Repechage semifinals on the way in the 1,000 meter, and then we'll get the B finals of both relays, women's and men's. That'll wrap up this morning's session. And then it really gets hot in the afternoon. Park Ji-won, Stephen Dubois battling the men's side for the Crystal Globe. Kim Gilly, Kristen Santos Griswold for the U.S. doing the same.
Go to the start.
It will come down to their last individual races. Here's the restart.
Ready.
And another whistle blown, and another restart will be forthcoming. And Honorman hits the deck again. Well, we'll check out what happened with Honorman this time. Kind of leaning a bit off balance as Honorman. Then looked like the shoulders connected with he and Yokoyama. And Aroglu got kind of pulled into the mess as well in the 168. Deguiter was out of there, and there, yeah, you see, oh man, look at that right hand of Aroglu was up in the goggles of Yokoyama. Watch Aroglu on the right side of your screen. Yokoyama's second from the left, and ultimately the hand of Aroglu is going to be up and actually turn the goggles off of the face a bit of Yokoyama as he was falling down and forward. Honorman slides by again. And the drills are out one more time. It's going to be a blade change for Honorman. The blades are not cheap. Skaters with several backups. Looks like Yokoyama getting a blade change as well on his left. Maybe a goggle change also. There's Eroglu. And now the other blade being worked on for Nico Andermann. Andermann back on the ice. Whistle blown. We'll try it again.
Go to the start. Ready.
Trying to get through that first corner. Oh, Andermann just not trusting the blades. He stumbled again, and we get another whistle. And the race halted again. Not sure that anything really impacted Andermann other than the blades there. I don't know if he made contact with any other skaters that time, but clearly he was not trusting that blade when he came up. I mean, he took a step or two, and you could tell that he was not comfortable with it. Did he make any contact with anybody? Hard to tell from that angle, but he was spinning around uncomfortably. And noticed by the chief referee, so they halted the race one more time. Now here's the head-on look. We'll check with Andermann right in the middle of your screen. And no, he was going down on his own right there. But that helped. He did kind of butt the blade of Yokoyama, but Andermann was about to go down anyway. Yeah, he's fighting those blades right now. And so now we will attempt our third restart after the start did not go through.
Ready.
This would be the good angle. Let's check out on Andermann. And we are through the opening quarter, and this race is now finally on. Adrien Degueter of Belgium out front. Yokoyama cuts in, makes the pass, and has the lead. Eroglu third, Andermann fourth, then Donchev. Hiroki Yokoyama and Adrien Degueter. They break apart from the crew and come out of the corner, and some contact with Degueter. Yokoyama into the pads. That opens things up now. And look at who's in the lead. It's Andermann. With skaters sprawling all over the ice, Nico Andermann first across the line. Who would have believed that? 3 yellow boxes in the video review pop up like popcorn. Donchev reluctantly crosses the line. Yokoyama was in position. He and Degueter were battling for the lead far away from the rest of the field. But then there was some contact. Looked like Degueter got him a bit with his shoulder and forced Yokoyama almost entirely off the ice. And Degueter lost his momentum. And that opened things up all of a sudden for Nico Andermann. So here's the battle between Yokoyama and Degueter. There's the pass initially by Hiroki Yokoyama. And then with about a lap left to go, Degueter in the 94. This is action after the bit of contact. There's another spill, and that's Donchev going down. And Nico Andermann, who was part of a couple of restarts in this one, suddenly finds himself in the lead. Look at the coach up top saying, "Go that way, finish up." So the Zamboni's going to get an early start to resurface the ice, but we have several reviews that are currently ongoing here. And they're looking at a situation involving Eroglu and Andermann. And they're looking at The situation of Degwitier and the Japanese skater Yokoyama, and they're also looking at Iroglu and Donchev. So a lot to break down right here. And we'll see what they decide here. Anderman unofficially won the race. And now they will punch in the results after taking a look at several replays of several incidents within that race. There's a lot happening over the last 5 minutes for this last heat. And you can hear the motor of the Zamboni in the background. Quick starts on the resurfaced. 1,500 repechage semis will be on the other side of the resurfacing. So we saw some broken blades on starts. 3 restarts of this 500 before it finally got to a bit of a messy finish. And then when we finally got the 4.5 laps in, 3 different incidents that are being reviewed by the crew. And the results are in, and a couple of penalties are assessed, one on Degwitier, one on Iroglu. So everybody who finished the race legally is moving on in the rep semis. Anderman does win it. He had a bit of an adventure. And Donchev and Yokoyama. So here is the late illegal pass. Too late to overtake for Degwitier right there. So Yokoyama advanced. Then you get contact from behind here. The little push by Iroglu. That earns him the penalty. And so Yokoyama, Donchev, and Anderman are all into the rep semifinals. So as we heard and now as we see, the Zambonis out to resurface the ice. And when we come back, we'll get ready for the repechage semifinals of the 1,000. We'll have the repechage semis for both the men and women on the way. And the B final relays all a little bit later on. So we'll come back in about... Looks like about 8 minutes time. The Zamboni in 5th gear to try and hustle through. So we're winding down with the morning session on day 3. Back with more after these words. It's coverage of ISU World Cup Gdansk. Well, that's about as quick of a turnaround as you could have with the ice resurfacing to resuming racing. About 7 or 8 minutes time, and we're back inside Hala Olivia Arena here in Gdansk, getting ready for the final couple of individual races in this morning session. Closing out the repechage, the women's and men's 1,000 meter. We'll get to the semifinals here. 2 heats for the women, and only the winner will head back in the main draw to the quarterfinals. The men will see a couple of heats in the semifinals as well, and then we'll get to the rep semis and the 500s and take one last break and come back with the B finals, both relays. So in this first heat, there are the 5 starters. Elisa Konfortola, Sofia Konia will have inside position, Sokolowska from Poland, Simodi and Yermak. Only the winner advances back to the quarterfinals. A field that will feature Hannah DeSmet, Corey Stoddard, Suzanne Schulte, Kim Boutin, and oh yes, Kristen Santos Griswold and Kim Gilly. Who wants to race against them? The winner of this will likely be in a heat with one of those.
Ready.
And here we go, 9-lap race, and the winner to the quarterfinals. And what an afternoon session it's going to be. Crystal Globe on the line. We thought it might be basically a coronation for both Park Ji-won and Kim Gilly this weekend, but it is short track and some unusually unexpected finishes yesterday, most notably the one for Kim Gilly, who was knocked out in the quarterfinals of the 500. Certainly not her best distance, but she chose to race the 500 and picked up only 16 points. Santos Griswold won the 1,500, which is Kim Gilly's best distance. Santos Griswold won and picked up 84 points on her. And that tightened things up and gives Santos Griswold not a great chance, but a much better chance than she had 24 hours ago. Coming up on 3 laps to go. The lead to Yermak. Konfortola in second, and Sokolowska from Poland goes down with about 3 laps to go. And a move to the inside, steadying herself. That is Sofia Konia. Konfortola right on her hip. A couple of reviews will take place here toward the end of this one. There's the bell for Konia. Konfortola right now second. One of those reviews has been cleared. Only the winner heads back to the quarters. Konia in front. Konfortola stretching. It's close. It's close. Konfortola might have gotten up. The time mechanisms on the athlete's ankles would indicate that Konfortola did outstretch Konia, and now the numbers will support that. But there is one more review to be had. So Lisa Konfortola right at the end, the full stretch. And there's one more review before this one becomes official. Watch Konfortola in the 34 helmet. Konia in the 49. Konia right here makes her move, cuts in, then goes wide to get around Konfortola. Got that little bump right there with Sokolowska. Knocked her off. That's a hard landing right there. Chest first. And there's the stretch for Konfortola. 0.02 of a second. And that will get it done. So Konfortola wins it. No penalty. Everything's been cleared away. So welcome back to the quarterfinals in the main draw for Lisa Konfortola. And now one of these 5 will join her back in the quarters a bit later this afternoon. Yamana, Van Oerschaut, Liu, Silse, Nemetz, and Olivier.
Go to the start. Ready.
Van Oerschaut defends the inside position and takes the early lead. A little peek around both shoulders to see who's where and how far behind. So 9-lap race, Van Oerschacht, Yamana second. Here comes Silasay Nemet from the back quickly. And Silasay Nemet striding down, takes the lead. Van Oerschacht, and here comes Liu. So Liu Wanyu from China, a little bump there with Van Oerschacht. Maintains her poise and finishes off the full pass. So Liu Wanyu up front for China. Four laps left as Liu crosses the line. Van Oerschacht and Silasay Nemet second and third. There's Van Oerschacht. Takes a little bit of space on the inside. She now takes the reins. Olivier at the back, starting to move forward in the 45 alongside Silasay Nemet. And they bump again, and Olivier now up into third. And here comes Yamana from the back. Van Oerschacht's in front. There's the bell. Liu still second. And only the winner heads back to the quarterfinals, and Van Oerschacht pulling away. And it will be Didi Van Oerschacht into the quarterfinals pending the review. Liu and Olivier photo for seconds. So if that holds up, it will be Confortola and Van Oerschacht out of the repechage back into the quarterfinals of the 1,000. So there's the little bit of contact toward the back. And then up front, this is Liu and Van Oerschacht. Silasay Nemet in the 47. And the finish. Van Oerschacht. And the results are good. Van Oerschacht into the quarters. So Van Oerschacht and Confortola come out of the repechage. They'll be back in the main draw this afternoon in the women's 1,000. And now we'll get to the two repechage semis on the men's side of the 1,000 meter. And similar to the women, just the winner moves through. And in this opening semifinal, two from Hungary, Yazapati and Szigeti. Akar, Shamakhanov, Sejpal.
Go to the start. Ready.
So away we go on the 1,000 meter rep semifinal. Yurkabula and Shamakhanov with the early advantage. Sejpal second. And then Yazapati and Szigeti, then to a car at the back of the field. Pack of 5 for one spot back in the quarterfinals. A car from the back begins to make his little push to the lead. Good energy, and a car in the 31 from 5th to 1st. So he is the one to catch, 4 laps to go. Sejpal and Shamakhanov battling for second at the moment. Shamakhanov still defending. A car still in front. And now Shamakhanov makes his move. And now that leaves the inside open for Sejpal. Battle to the corner, and they leave room now for a car. He will retake the lead, and Yazapati splits the difference. Oh, look at this battle. Yazapati in the lead. A car went into the pads. Yazapati in front. Shamakhanov second. The final corner, and it's Peter Yazapati unofficially with 2 review boxes up. Peter Yazapati, after all the ping-ponging back and forth. Some contact here, some contact there, a gap to the outside, a gap to the inside, and skaters flying through. And that left Yazapati to capitalize inside the final couple of laps. Lots of elements in this Rep semifinal. And there's the first move, though, by Furkan Akar. That was with about 6 laps to go. Then you start to see the battling with that right hand up in the face. Sejpal into Shabakhanov. Glasses, goggles awry. Oh, look at that. That's a pro move right there. Middle of the race. Fix him up. Here's Yazepati in the 117. Has the left hand all the way out, and that might be reviewed as a car tumbles down. Is that an arm block potentially out of that corner for Yazepati? Yeah, those boots. Oh, look at those skipping across like a rock across water. Tick, tick, tick. Down he goes. So unofficially, Yazepati wins it, but I'm not sure this will hold up. And they're going to take a look here. There's Yazepati. His left arm. Akar's right arm goes up. Yeah, right across by Yazepati there. They're also taking a look earlier in the race involving Sejpal and Shabakhanov. So those are the 2 boxes of video reviews. Focusing on that one for the time being, that is going to determine Yazepati's fate. He's either into the quarterfinals or he's done. And there's Yazepati waiting for the outcome. And Szigeti, 2 Hungarians in this one. And there are the results. And how about that? So there's Yazepati does draw the penalty, as does Shabakhanov. So Szigeti wins the race after the DQ of Yazepati. Sejpal and Akar are both advanced. So we thought we would have 1 out of this heat moving back to the quarterfinal main draw. We get 3. And here will be all the explanations. The arm block on Shabakhanov here, right there in front of Sejpal. So that's the penalty on Shabakhanov. And then later in the race, Yazepati in the 117. Also charged with the arm block there against Akar. So Akar gets advanced as a result. Shabakhanov had already been penalized. That left Szigeti to win the race, crossing the line technically 3rd. So 3 advance, and now to the second semifinal, the repechage. Watanabe, Honda, Lee, Wolf, and Howard. Those are the 5.
The start. Ready.
So away we go, and Marcus Howard from the outside position already catapulted himself from the 5th position to the lead after the first full lap. So Howard of the U.S. in front, Hyundai second, and there goes Li Jinyu for China. I would say only the winner advances, but not the case in the opening heat when we said the winner only advances. 2 other via penalty moved on as well. Lee Hyundai are 1-2 with 5 laps to go. Marcus Howard 3rd. Then Watanabe and Wolf. And waiting to see when Watanabe begins his progress to the front. Howard will start his now. So it gets around Lee. Now Watanabe once again involved. Hard cut in. And now Tobias Wolf from the back starts to forge forward. Hyundai and Howard are still 1-2. Lee 3rd, Wolf 4th, and there goes Marcus Howard. And he will get the pass on Hyundai, and there's the bell for Howard. He's in front. And Marcus Howard with a bit of a gap. Hyundai falling off the pace. And it will be Marcus Howard across the line, unofficially winning this heat. And if that holds up, he will move into the quarterfinals, back in the main draw of the 1,000. And the review that they're having a look at does not involve Howard at all. So Marcus Howard is going to find himself back in the main draw. And they're taking a look at Tobias Wolf and Lee Jin-yu. So here's what they're looking at. The move by Lee Jin-yu right there with the bump, and then try to cut in, and then Lee Jin-yu just kind of backs off. And here's the pass by Marcus Howard. Hyundai right in front of him. Howard able to get around, use his body well, finalize the pass. And then Howard takes it the rest of the way. Very close for second, but that won't matter here. The results are in. Howard is back into the main quarterfinal draw in the 1,000 later on this afternoon. So now the last couple of individual races of this morning's session on day 3 in Gdansk. The rep semis of the women's 500, 4.5 laps. And only the winner will move through. Levesque, Green, Dubrova, and Kanai. Inside position to Levesque. Quick start by Green. They're fighting through that first corner, and Levesque holds it. And Kanai up into the main group as well. Far back to Dubrova. Ariel Levesque in front. Green trailing closely. And now Kanai with some move and room on the inside up into second place. Levesque still leading, and there's the bell for Levesque. The winner to the quarterfinals. Kanai with room on the inside. Little stumble, little connection. Kanai takes the corner, gets across the line. Now the question is, will it hold? Kanai was aggressively moving forward, looking for the inside pass on Levesque. And there was some contact there. Levesque finishes 4th out of 4. So they'll take a look and see if that Kanai pass is allowed. So there is Levesque in front. Kanai in the 127. And right here down that back straight, 127 Kanai. And leaning back to get to the markers here. Levesque off balance, skids wide. Annabelle Green finishes second to Kanai. Now if Kanai earns a penalty, Green would actually win this heat, and then there would be a potential advance of Levesque as well. So we'll see how it all plays out. And the results are up, and yeah, that's exactly what happens. Kanai earns the penalty. Green then technically wins the heat, and Levesque is advanced into the quarterfinals as well. Here's where they saw the lane change issue involving Kanai of Japan. On the right side of your screen right there. And that's enough to draw the penalty. Levesque is advanced, and Green wins the heat. So those two back into the main draw quarterfinals in the 500. And now those four, Kurakawa, Samoji, Toth, and Wilhoit.
Go to the start.
Quick start by Toth. Contact against Kurakawa, and this will be a call back. So Kurakawa had inside position starting that race. Toth got off pretty quickly off of the line, but really was making an assertive move to try and get all the way in front, going through that corner, and made some contact against Kurakawa. Left hand caught a blade as well for Esther Toth, 81. determined to try and finish off the full pass right there. And we'll see if that might be looked at as well. Lane change inside the corner by Toth into Kurikawa. And now, Toth is going to earn the penalty. She is directed off of the ice. So the penalty on Toth. And to the line now comes only 3 skaters. Kurikawa, Samoji, and Wilhoit. So Esther Toth penalized in the repechage semifinal.
Go to the start. Ready.
So to the corner, it's Kurikawa. And no contact-free first corner, and off we go. The winner to the quarterfinals. Kurikawa, Samoji kind of ducks through and did not have much room to make that pass, but does so beautifully. Samoji, and now Wilhoit up to second for the U.S., then Kurikawa. And here's the bell, and a sizable lead for Samoji with one more corner to traverse. So out of the corner, Barbara Samoji of Hungary wins the semifinal. And Samoji into the quarterfinals this afternoon. Wilhoit second, Kurikawa third. Kurikawa got to the corner first, had the lead for a couple laps, but just a beautiful move. And again, talk about a small bit of territory. Right here is where Samoji kind of ducked past Wilhoit and then cut left and just had enough space to get around Kurikawa on her inside. And that is what won the race for Barbara Samoji. So that's it for the rep semifinals of the women in the 500. And there are the results. Toth earns the penalty before the restart. And here's a look at that penalty. This is on the initial race start. And the penalty on Toth. So out of the repechage semifinals, Annabelle Green, Barbara Samoji, and Levesque advance via penalty. Those 3 are into the quarterfinal main draw. Now we get to the 2 heats of the repechage semifinal for the men. Only the winner moving through. Those are the 5. Kim was impressive in the quarters. Bergen, Donchev, Onderman, and McDonald.
Go to the start. Ready.
And Kim just leaning forward, accelerating effortlessly. And the lead belongs to him through the first couple of corners of this one. Lucas McDonald second, then Onderman. With all the blade issues in the repechage quarterfinal. He's on good footing now, but he's in third. Kim Tae-sung on top of McDonald. Onderman still third. And Kim looks in awfully good shape in this one. McDonald just can't keep up. And Kim Tae-sung wires the field impressively. So he'll be back in the quarters. Strong showing by Kim over the course of his couple of races here in the 500. 41.988 is time. McDonald finishing second. Full control that entire race by Kim. Oh, and he's just held on right there, didn't he? You can tell by the look on his face as he was beginning to stray out of that corner, almost losing it. But outside of that, no real challenges for Kim in that one. So now to the last of the Repechage individual races here this morning. Second and final rep semifinal in the men's 500. Quentin Faircock will operate out of position 4. His teammate Sebastian Lepep inside spot. Wesley Park, Casanelli, Yokoyama. Pretty good field here for this rep semi. And let's watch Faircock and see how he fares off of the line. There's Lepep. Faircock second from the left on your screen on the straight-on look, and he will make a nice little move to start this race. And bumps off against Wesley Park. Down goes Park. Oh, that's dangerous. And they will stop it. Oh, Wesley Park. That was a dangerous fall. I believe it was Faircock who made the contact. And Park skating across the ice toward the pads. And there was still one more skater coming toward him, and that was Yokoyama. Excellent sportsmanship there by Yokoyama to go check on Park to make sure he's all right. Yokoyama at the back. And watch Park and Faircock right there. There's the bump by Faircock. And down goes Wesley Park to the infield. And then comes all the way back through the ice. And here's Yokoyama coming up. Tell you what, Yokoyama did great yeoman's work to avoid really a hard collision with the exposed Wesley Park right here. Goodness gracious. Watch this with the blades up. Frightening for both competitors here. There's the hard little left shoulder by Faircock. Spills Park down. We'll see if this replay goes all the way through to see just how close Yokoyama and Park were to a major incident. I'd imagine that's going to be looked at as well for Quentin Faircock. And it will, and he may not survive this race. I think he knows it. And Wesley Park testing his body, testing his blades. Well, a good thing he's all right. And now we'll see. I think Faircock is going to be sent off. And the chief referee sending Faircock on his way. So Faircock departs, penalized. So that leaves 4. Lepep, Park, Casanelli, and Yokoyama. And one of the top 500-meter skaters this entire World Cup season has been penalized in the rep semis. There he goes.
Go to the start.
So 4 skaters vying for 1 spot, and Lepep wins the corner. Wesley Park trying to hang in that inside spot. He gets spun almost around again. Yokoyama gets past him already. We'll have a review on the first lap and a half of this one. The lead to Lepep. Yokoyama sizes him up. Casanelli third. And Yokoyama, it's a race to the corner. He's going to win, and he's on top of Lepep now with about a lap and a quarter to go. Here's the bell. And it's Yokoyama. Lepep tracing behind him. Casanelli running out of time. And Yokoyama around the corner will get to the line. And it is Hiroki Yokoyama of Japan. Yeah, thumbs up. Earned it. But they will take a look at a potential penalty involving Wesley Park and Yokoyama here in this restart. And coincidentally, it was those two that just did have a near miss on the ice a couple of moments ago in the initial start of this one. So they're looking perhaps at a push from behind right there, maybe on Wesley Park. Or there could be the left arm block of Yokoyama right there, then the push from Park. So that's what they're taking a look at. And kudos to our referee liaison over in Gdansk with a little bit of extra color, extra detail on precisely what the views are going to be. A little squint to the monitor there. So yeah, it could be one or the other. It's all going to be on the interpretation and kind of what led to what. So we'll take a slower look at the left arm from 182. That's Yokoyama. Because the arm is down, and then the push from Park behind. So, chicken or the egg right there. And again, remember, Yokoyama unofficially won the race. So, he doesn't think that there should be anything called here. We'll see. See if the judges agree. But if he does earn a penalty, he's done. If there is no penalty, he is the one who will advance to the quarters. So there's a lot on the line here for Yokoyama. And then Zamboni coming back onto the ice to resurface one more time. And there will be no penalty on Yokoyama. So he does win the race and officially is into the quarterfinals. Hiroki Yokoyama, the penalty on Faircock came in the initial start of that race. So that's it for the individual repechage here this morning. Kim Tai-sung and Hiroki Yokoyama get out of the Rep 500s, and they're back in the main draw later this afternoon. And here's the look at the penalty charge against Faircock. Middle of your screen right there, the outside to in lane change and the hard contact with Wesley Park that led to almost a near disaster here as Yokoyama comes right up on him with the blades up by Park, but everybody was fine. So we will have about a 12-minute delay for the resurfacing. We will come back with the B finals of both the women's and the men's relay. So we are winding down day 3 of the morning session of ISU Short Track World Cup from Gdansk. More in about 12 minutes. Last two races of the morning session in Gdansk. Ready for now the B final, the women's 3,000-meter relay. Italy, China, Hungary, and Poland are on the ice. And Poland would love an opportunity to claim this B final in front of the home fans. And then after this one, the B final of the men's 5,000 relay, and then a break for lunch and a little bit of a rest for the athletes. And then the home stretch of the last World Cup events, where everything will be on the line. The Relay World Cup Championships, and then the Crystal Globe champions will be crowned today. Tighter races than we expected coming into the weekend. As we talk about what Stephen Dubois and Kristen Santos-Griswold would need to maybe upset here Kim Gilly and Park Ji-won in the final weekend. Well, they got their business done yesterday and did get some help that they needed to make it a possibility. Park Ji-won leads by 69 points with one event left. He'll be in the 1,000. Dubois will be in the 500. Kim Gilly is up 51 on Santos-Griswold. They will both be in the 1,000 this afternoon. That's the drama. Now to the B final. You have China as the top-ranked team in this B final. They're number 5 in the world. Poland 6, Italy 7, Hungary 8. And between all four of these teams, only one podium finish. And it was Poland finishing bronze in Beijing.
Go to the start. Ready.
So here we go with the women's B final. 27 laps. And China will open up with Zhang Jianing on the opening leg. Italy in the blue. Poland in the white and red, and Hungary in the green, white, and red. So China out front, Italy second, Poland third, then Hungary. The skaters who were in the quarterfinals, Betty Confortola, Ioriati, and Siegel for Italy. Don't know if they've made any changes. And they have certainly made one already as we move into this B final. As Ariana Valsapina, the 32 helmet, is on the ice. She did not race in the quarterfinals for Italy. China in the quarters had Liu, Song, and Zhang. Hungary with Konya, Samoji, and Zalise Nemets. And Poland had Bobier, Sokolowska, Stormowska, and Topolska. Zalise Nemets on the ice right now for Hungary, sitting in third. And the lead right now to China, Song Jirui on the ice in 99. And the exchange for Italy, Ioriati. Back to Valsapino. Men's B final is on the way. We'll see the U.S., China, the Netherlands, and Italy. One review underway in this one already. 16 laps to go. And there's the first lead exchange. Italy takes the lead away from China. And that is Ariana Siegel. Poland still a distant fourth at this stage. Ioriati out front for the Italians. And China now with Liu Wanyu on the ice in helmet 123. And it's Samogi out there for Hungary. Hungary trying to make the pass on China here. Can't quite get through. And now Poland takes advantage and jumps into third. The crowd liking that move. Chiara Betti making the exchange for Italy. The first video review has been cleared away. No penalty there. They're going to take a look at another one. Italy is still in front, stretching out the lead on China a bit. Clean exchange by the Italians with 8 laps to go. China second. Big gap back to Hungary and Poland. China beginning to take aim on Italy, tightening things up now with 6 laps left. And that's Valsapina hanging on to the lead for Italy. China waiting for a moment. They look like they're about ready to attempt to pass. Couldn't do it on the exchange and can't do it in that first corner. So it is still Italy with Betty. Song Yifei on the chase. And now Hungary closing in third, so they are in the mix. One more exchange coming inside the final 3 laps. It is still Italy in front, China second, a little bit of a spread to Hungary in third. There's the last exchange. And Italy in this B final leaves it in the hands of Ioriati. 1 lap to go. Italy by a hair still in front. China trying to make the pass. Contact with Song. Inside move by Song. And the pass by Song to win it. A determined last lap and a half for Song Jirui. And got around Ioriati into that last corner. Italy second, Hungary third, Poland fourth. And one more ongoing review. So if it holds up, China would win the B final. There's Song Yifei right there, 124. That left arm extended. That may be what they're looking at here. So yeah, that is what they were examining. No determination yet. That will matter because if a penalty is called on what could be an arm block, that would knock China out and give the B final points and win to Italy. Nothing official yet, but that is what they are taking a look at. They looked earlier at a potential change by Poland. That was cleared up with no infraction. Now we'll see if there's a penalty assessed on China or not. And the communication back and forth from the video booth down to the ice. And we'll get the resolution here momentarily. So the decision's been made. And we'll find out here in a moment whether China wins the B final or whether they draw a penalty. There's Song Yifei anxiously looking on. And China will get the penalty. So Italy declare the B final winners. So the arm block concluded to have occurred on Song Yifei. And so China, instead of winning the B final, draws a penalty. So here's one more look. The arm block on Team China right in here, right on that turn, on that corner, against Samodi of Hungary. And that was enough to draw the penalty. So China is moved off the top of the B final. And Italy wins it. All right, now the B final for the men. This is our last event of the morning session, the final session here in Gdansk. And we have the United States, the Netherlands, Italy, and the number 1 ranked men's relay team in the world right now, China. A couple of golds this year in Montreal and in Seoul. But the Liu brothers have not been with China the last couple of World Cups, so here they are in the B final. Li, Zhang, and Liu all raced in the quarters for China. We'll see if they're still on the rotation here for China in this B final. The U.S. had Heo, Howard, Wesley Park, and Yoon in the quarters. We'll check on any adjustments to that lineup for Stephen Goff. Boer, De La, Timons, and a Hausman for Netherlands. Antonioli, Casanelli, Natalini, Speckenhauser were the 4 for Italy, and Speckenhauser is out there right now on the ice for Italy. China has Zhang Bahao. 45-lap race. And the Netherlands have Dan Koss out there. Now Delat is on the ice. He just was exchanged on there by Dan Koss in the 184, the bright orange helmet. We'll see him a couple of rotations from now. So the lead to the Netherlands. And that's Tjeun Boer out there for the Dutch. Yoon for the United States gets a crack here in this B final in 67. Friso Imons. Speckenhauser behind him for Italy. Imons in front for the Dutch. And that's Andrew Heel for the United States. And here's the exchange to get Koss back on the ice for the Netherlands. Ten laps in. The Dutch, the U.S., Italy, and China. Slight pass by Italy. Now China moves up in a third. Zhang Jianyi. Still the Dutch in front. Italy second. China third, then the U.S. And there goes China, darting out to the lead for the first time in this B final. And back to Koss, and the lead returns to the Dutch. Yu Yanpeng for China, ready to make the exchange. De Lac is now in front for the Netherlands. United States back in fourth. Italy with Casanelli sitting third at this point. And no men's relay podiums for the United States this year, nor for Italy. The Netherlands claimed gold at the European Championships. Yeah, they've been on one World Cup podium back in Seoul, claiming silver. Friso Imons out ahead of Zhang. And the United States now back up into third, Italy fourth. Antonioli now moving back ahead of the U.S., Italy in third. 23 laps to go. China races ahead. Now Italy seems a little more locked in, closing in on both the Chinese and the Dutch. The U.S. drafting off of Italy. And China back out to Zhang Bahao. Imons for the Dutch. Yu Yanpeng and China still in front. No major moves in this one quite yet. Cost to the lots as the Dutch remain second. And the United States back in the pack in fourth. And now's the time. Last couple of rotations. Oh, China, a little stumble. China goes down. Might have been assisted down into the pads. That will be reviewed. And right now, three relay squads on the lead lap. We're going to take a look at some contact between China and Italy there. Imons and the Netherlands in front. Italy second, the U.S. third. And China a couple of laps behind. So back out to Koss. 12 laps to go. Antonioli for Italy. Wesley Park for the U.S. DeLots and Casanelli. And the exchange. Race to the corner. Italy wins it. And the Italians now have the lead with about 8 laps to go. Now the Dutch take it right back. 8 laps to go. And now down goes the U.S. I don't know that the U.S. made the exchange right there. And so the U.S. some problems. Emons will give the exchange to Koss, but room on the inside for the pass for the Italians. 6 laps left. Italy in front. Antonioli motors ahead. Now the U.S. and China on your screen, they are not on the lead lap. Only Italy and the Netherlands, the front 2 are. 4 laps remain. Italy and the Netherlands. 1-2. And on that exchange, a little tussle into the corner. The Netherlands in front. Italy second. The U.S. right in the way as Italy's trying to get around them. And again, remember, U.S. is not on the lead lap. So a little bit of interference right there. 2 laps to go. It's the Dutch and it's Italy. Here's the bell for the B final. The Netherlands with Emons. Speckenhauser for Italy. Emons a look. He looked the wrong way. Speckenhauser makes the pass and wins it. Italy takes the B final. Emons looked the other direction. He wanted to see where Speckenhauser was, expecting, I think, an outside pass. And when he looked to his right, Speckenhauser burst to his left on the blind side and made the pass to win it. Entertaining race. Here's the first bit of contact involving Italy and the Chinese. That was fairly early in the race. And take a look at the boots of Lee Kuhn, 55. Caught the leg of Castanelli right there. And there's the little hand contact there by Natalini later in the race. And then they have the United States right there with Yoon going down. So no exchange there. Here's the look. Emons was looking the other way, expecting Speckenhauser to go wide. So Emons drifted wide to block it. And Speckenhauser makes the pass and claims it for Italy. 2 review boxes are shown on your screen, and they're having a look. Certainly early in the race, one would have to be China and Italy. Maybe an arm block by the Italians. We'll have a look. And if that's the case, that would be a huge swap to the standings here. So let's take a look. Talking 55 Lee Kuhn, but was that arm extended here from Castanelli and a potential arm block down there? Did that lead to the Chinese falling, or was it incidental? I mean, the left arm certainly goes out and then not quite down on the ice, but still enough to warrant a look. And that effectively ended China's hopes in this relay. And then I'm getting word that the second yellow box has been cleared for any potential infraction. And on this exchange, let's see if there's any issues. So there's the exchange to Thunbor. And the exchange with Italy to Natalini. And then right out of that exchange, some contact. And here in this corner, and that would be the end of the race if it holds. So here's Speckenhauser and Emons on that last pass. And there's some question about the pass there by Italy. Here it comes again, straight on view. There's the look to the other direction by Imans that I mentioned. So they're taking a look there. Speckenhauser hopeful, but probably a bit unsure right now. And clearly this is not easily determined. It's a long discussion going on and a lot of replay views. But there could be a penalty assessed on Italy. And if so, they come off the top of the B final. And awaiting the results. And there will be a penalty on Italy. Netherlands, as a result, wins the B final. China for second, even though they were a lap back. And the U.S. for third. They were a lap off the lead. So let's take a look at a couple of different incidents in this one. This is the lane change outside the in, and the penalty on Italy right there that sprayed the Chinese out of the race. So that is going to be the penalty that is drawn by Italy, and that will take the Italians from winning the B final to draw a penalty. So the Netherlands wins the B final as a result. And that will conclude this morning's session here in Gdansk. So don't miss a thing. We'll have a break of probably about an hour and 15 minutes or so. And then we will come back not just with the final session of any ordinary World Cup. You have the determination of the Crystal Globe champions today and both drama-filled events. We'll see Park Ji-won and Stephen Dubois battle it out. And then heads up in the 1,000-meter, Kim Gilly and Kristen Santos Griswold. 51 points separate those two. 69 points separate Park and Dubois. You don't want to miss it. Stick around. We'll resume with the final session here in Gdansk in a little more than an hour. You're watching coverage of ISU World Cup Gdansk. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of the World Cup.